This spring, after we redid the flower bed, we realized that the local rabbits enjoyed nibbling on the new plants. So my wife asked me to prepare something to put on the plants to keep the rabbits from treating it like an all-you-can-eat salad bar. So I did a little research and I created this solution of ground cayenne pepper. It's just a liter of water, 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper, and a tablespoon of Dawn dish soap. That way it sticks to the leaves of the plants better. That worked for a while. However, I didn't filter it, so it ended up clogging the bottle. So after doing a little bit more research, I realized I had used a high-density polyethylene bottle as it was recommended, or a glass bottle. So I'm going to use glass this time. What I didn't do was filter it to get rid of all the extra ground pepper into the solution. So now I'm going to filter that through a cheesecloth, and we're going to produce a new spray that I can use on the front plants to keep the rabbits off. So since I've already got this mixed up, I'm just going to put everything into the new bottle. So I've got a watering can here. I'm just going to mix everything together. Now if you're doing this yourself, starting from scratch, yeah, you can see how thick that is. And as we get to the bottom, you can see it's got a lot of granular stuff in there. Yeah, so as we empty that, you can see why it was getting clogged. That's a lot of extra material. And I will point out, you always want to label this so that you don't accidentally spray cayenne pepper on things you don't really intend to. Like your eyes, your hands, your vegetables that you're about to eat. Although it does wash off. Like I said, you have to reapply it after every rain. And then I'm going to take this bottle that I used last year that just already had some Dawn dish soap in it. This was really useful for treating my plants. We had a lot of spotted lanternfly last year, and just a Dawn dish soap solution was good enough to prevent them from eating my plants. However, they're not rabbits. We're going to go ahead and add in some of our Dawn dish soap. So now we've got the right combination of ingredients. Just going to mix that together. Yeah, it is recommended that you want to use safety glasses or gloves to prevent getting cayenne pepper in your eyes. So be very careful with what you're doing. There we go. All right, so we're just going to put this in there, poke a hole down so it goes into it. Actually, I've got a better idea. We're gonna do this the right way. See, doing this ad hoc. Do my research, but then think of new ideas as I do it. Okay, so we're doing a cheesecloth in the bottle, putting a funnel there, and then just pouring it in. This seems the safest way, and actually feels kind of like a science experiment. See, and it's filtering through slowly, so let's let that catch up. Yeah, and as we're running this through the cheesecloth, you can really see why it was clogging up the spray bottle. Just having the cheesecloth there, it's already clogged. Yeah, it's like if it's right on the cheesecloth, that doesn't get clogged. Yeah, that's the reason why I've got 2 bottles. This first one's gonna be the experiment and figure out how to do it. Second one, we'll do it right. All right, so we have our first bottle. All right, so we learned a few lessons from that one. First, it's gonna clog up the cheesecloth if you just put it in that way. The funnel kind of worked, but I think that did produce a nice result. Just need to clean that up because it's covered in spray that's, yeah, you can see it's covered in pepper spray. So we need to clean that up a little bit. Okay, we're ready for our second attempt. This time, I cleaned out the cheesecloth. We're gonna put it in the funnel, get our bottle ready, stick the funnel in here, and then that way we're using more of the surface area of the cheesecloth to filter it. Let's get this so we can see it better. All right, so we have a cheesecloth in our funnel going into our bottle. Let's try this, see how this works. All right, off to a good start. Yeah, that works so much better. All right, and we have our pepper spray. Like I said, it's 2 parts ground cayenne pepper in a liter of water, and then you add in a tablespoon of Dawn dish soap, and that will help it to stick to the plants. So now, when we put our spray in there, it shouldn't get clogged. So now, ready to go protect the plants in the front yard. Watch out, rabbits. Yeah, don't spray this into the wind. Thank you for joining me on this little adventure as I tried to figure out how to do a pepper spray to protect the plants. Hopefully you learned something from my mistakes. Please subscribe and continue watching for more great ideas and some mistakes. You want to make sure that you spray this every couple of days and definitely reapply after it rains. And here's a playlist of other gardening together projects that you might enjoy. See you next time.